Ah, yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is Q Strike, bringing you another episode of Monday Night Fight that's structured, necromancer, commentated PvP action every Monday night, because why not? Now, this video is pre-recorded, and the reason for that is because on Monday night, I'm going to be in that stress test trying to get you guys some better gameplay footage. Now, what I mean by better is if you've seen any of my previous videos, you do know I play a super objective-based style PvP system. Basically, I do believe that if you control the nodes, ultimately you will win the game. Unfortunately, that leads to some horrendously boring PvP footage. I don't want to keep doing that to you guys every week, so I'm going to alter my playstyle on Monday and make sure that I am getting just some pro footage that really, shows what the necromancer can do in these different skirmish type of situations. But at the same time, it was super important for me to go ahead and come out with this, because I did state in a previous video that I was going to do 2 Guild Wars 2 videos a week, and even though I don't have like a super huge following, I mean, it's something I said I was going to do, and it's just one of those personal things for me that if I say I'm going to do something, then I have to go ahead and do it. So this video by itself is very, very special and dear to me, because this is my first structured PvP match ever. I had the weapon setups that I did want to use. However, I had no idea that you could like enchant weapons or any of that kind of cool guy stuff. So this is like pure, like I logged into the game, immediately went into a structured PvP match, and this is my first video, first ever anything structured PvP related. So even though you're going to see some horrific plays, I wanted to go ahead and throw this up as kind of a comparison to where I started off to where I ended up, like toward the end of the beta weekend, and ultimately the stress test that's coming up. Now everybody has those, oh my god, what were you thinking moments every time they first log into a new game, and I have the perfect one that you're about to see coming up right now, and it was just such an amazing wow, what was I thinking moment that I had to share it with you guys. Basically, when I come over here, I get to this point because I'm like, oh, you gotta fight on the nodes, that's how you win these games. And I do get blown up, but one of the main reasons I got blown up so hard is because I had heard about the mesmers and how they use clones to kind of manipulate the battlefield. If you look to the right, you'll see that I got killed by a player named Your Hallucination. I legitimately thought that that was a mesmer clone, because I'm like, oh, Your Hallucination, that must be what they named the clones in order for me to be able to distinguish between the mesmer and the clones themselves. Obviously, I was completely wrong, and the worst part is I didn't even realize it at that point that mesmer had killed me, that was just the name of his tune. So you're gonna see me come up here and see that mesmer again, and even though I click on him and I'm doing damage to him, you actually see me panning my camera around like, where the living crap is this mesmer at? He's got to be somewhere. I legitimately thought the mesmers could like sit at the base just sending their super overpowered clones to just completely control the battlefield. And man, going back and looking at this, like, I know you guys got some cool, like, oh yeah, when I first was in Guild Wars 2, I did this and it was completely scrubbed. Nobody's got a scrubbed story like that. That was easily like the dumbest thing I've ever done or thought in any MMORPG I've ever played ever. And so I'm super happy that I got that on Fraps and that I could tell you guys what an idiot I am. So I turn this corner, see these two guys, and I'm like, oh man, I need to kite out. What I was basically trying to do here is get one of them to commit to the kill, because I figure 1v1 I got a pretty good chance of taking anybody just with the tools the necromancer has available to him. Unfortunately, none of them took the bait, so I just kind of come back here, try to take this point. I get left to hold this point, by myself, which at the time was okay, but immediately when my partner leaves, that same mesmer and hunter, or ranger rather, hunter, now you can tell what game I play too much of, but the same mesmer and ranger come over here, and I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, let me try to kite out, get one of them to commit to the kill, and then hopefully turn it, 2v2 into a 1v1. This mesmer does come pretty far, unfortunately not far enough, because I did see the ranger pet. At the same time, I didn't realize that ranger pets in this game had no leash distance. Like literally, if a ranger pet gets on you and the ranger doesn't call it back, that thing will chase you to the ends of the earth. So I come up here thinking that it's a good 1v1. The ranger was sitting somewhere that I couldn't see at the time, and then ultimately this guardian does come up, makes very quick work of me in a 3v1 situation. Obviously, again, should have popped some death shroud, should have done some things. This is, as I stated before, the first ever structured PvP match that I went into. So I was just showing you guys, you know, me trying to test the boundaries, just showing you what I thought I could make happen and how quickly I learned I just couldn't do it. So now as I res up, I realized we still do have the point advantage. No real thanks to me. I mean, I've been there, but I haven't really been helping out too much. So I'm going to be heading to the only point that we don't control, which is of course the clock tower, and just seeing if I can make any kind of plays over there. Really quick, I do want to say that I have a buddy who plays the mesmer class, and he's going to be recording some videos over the stress test. You've seen him in a few of my videos. He plays stealth if you ever pay attention to the nameplates close enough. As I come up here, realize there's a fight going on. I should have got on the mesmer because he is the higher priority target, but again, I'm probably still thinking that that guy's just a clone that's really overpowered. And I get onto this guardian, managed to get him down and ultimately finish him out. That ranger is perched up top, and you'll get to see him here in a second, and I'm like, man, this ranger is such an annoying piece of crap. But I learned that he has no control over this point, so even though he's just kind of there turning around, as long as I'm moving within the circle of the point, I'm still getting the cap point, and eventually we do take it. However, as you saw there, I get hit from left field by a freaking trebuchet round. That has got to be the most like disheartening thing in the world. He never comes to finish me off, so I'm just fighting to survive as hard as humanly possible, and ultimately do manage to get up. He hopped down and he was like, I don't know why he didn't stomp me out. He should have, but he sat there and just tried to finish me the old-fashioned way by straight damage stealing. I was gonna head over to the windmill, but I'm like, you know what, I don't just want to keep getting backcapped the entire game. So I come back up here, see this warrior, ultimately get on him. Should have hopped onto the ranger at this point, but I just didn't have, you know, the great awareness that I try to pride myself on in my other videos. And so obviously you can tell by this warrior that he's not the greatest warrior out there. He keeps popping his 100 blades attack when he's not actually in range to hit anybody. However, again, these servers had just come up, super laggy, so maybe this guy, you know, is an actual super good warrior, and it's just the lag was just affecting him way too much. Again, he hops down, and you can tell the lag because it looked like a teleport instead of a hop, and it was definitely, like, I remember specifically him just running down. I do head back to this point, get onto this guardian. Again, should have hopped onto the ranger. That's just me kind of tabbing and, like, you know, I didn't want to position myself where I'm just going to get beat on by those two different guys. He roots me just as I pop my elite ability, and you can see the power of just how much damage this elite truly does. Managed to get him down super fast, turn around and get this ranger down finally, almost as quickly, and then I'm going to just kind of do it again the old-fashioned way, kill him with damage, and then I pop up here next to this guardian and finally finish him off as well. You know, it's pretty safe to say with the points the way they are, for those that are unaware, the points go to 500 and then the game simply ends. But it is safe to say that we end up winning this game. So as I always do, I want to give a quick shout out to boonsandconditions.com. That's GW2BNC.com. For those that are unaware, it is a Guild Wars 2 fan site that does articles related to different aspects of the game, as well as, you know, just the fun, just kind of entertaining podcasts that they put together. It's all Guild Wars 2 related, and they recently started their live shows on Twitch.tv, which just is video format of the podcast. Again, just fun, kind of entertaining value there. I'm Q-Strike. If you like what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe to the videos. Like I said before, I'll be getting more footage over the course of the stress test that is going to be more fight related and less, you know, just node capping. This was, of course, the first ever structured PvP match that I ever played in. I managed to get that top stat MVP, and I thought that that was cool. I'd just share my LOL moment with that mesmer, and love you guys. Hopefully catch you next time. Peace.